welcome back to the Game Smash Podcast, and as always, I'm your host, William Liberty, and with me is...
Fawwaz Muhammad Yusuf.
And today we got some stuff. We got Swamp Thing, Cheetah, and Catwoman confirmed for Injustice 2. We've got Crash Bandicoot Remaster release date. We've got The Legend of Zelda getting an expansion pass. And we've got Mass Effect crew members, along with Mass Effect gameplay. But before we get into that, let's talk about what we played this week.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
Uh-oh.
I hate when I do this.
Uh-oh.
So there's one last thing that I added to the list that I thought I shared with you. Wait, no, I did share it with you. Is the big Hearthstone news.
Oh, yeah, I kind of blocked that. We could talk about it, yes, we can talk
God
about
damn it, Tanner.
I thought we left Hearthstone behind. I thought if anyone would be happy to not talk about Hearthstone, it would be you.
Hey, we're a gaming podcast, Tanner. We're supposed to be an unbiased
Yeah, we are incredibly unbiased. All right.
We're delivering the unbiased news, and this is pretty big news, I think.
Okay. I have it. I added it to the list. Don't worry. We got a bunch of Hearthstone news, which we'll talk about at the end after Mass Effect.
There
we go. See, we can. This is editing on the fly, folks. That's what Game Smash is all about. All right. But before we get into that, let's talk about what we played this week. So I beat Resident Evil 7.
I thought you beat it like 2 weeks ago.
No, I did not beat it 2 weeks ago.
Oh, shit. Oh, okay. Hey, congratulations.
I got about halfway through the game, I think, the last time I talked about it. And it was kind of funny because while I was playing the game, I got to I beat like this really big epic boss, and I was having a lot of fun. And I was like, okay. And then there's this big moment where I have to make a decision, right? And I'm like, okay, this is clear. Clearly, the game's wrapping up. And I'm like, all right, fair enough. It's a decent. It's not the longest game, but whatever. And the funniest thing is that when I made the decision and expecting to cut to like an ending, there was an entire other zone that was just there. So I was like pleasantly surprised because it was funny because I was thinking, oh, I'll wrap this up in like an hour or two, and it turned out there was like at least 4 more hours of gameplay. So I was really pleasantly surprised by that. And the last level was really fun. It had a lot of interesting mechanics, and it was really, really cool to explore. Overall, like when I finished the game, I think I'm pretty much agreeing with the consensus that this is the best Resident Evil game since 4.
Okay.
Me and my friend were arguing a bit about whether or not 5 is a better game. And personally, I think 5 is fine, but I like this game more. I think 5 had better characters overall, but I think this game has more of an interesting gameplay and design and style. So I enjoyed it.
It's a horror game.
Yeah, it's a horror. Well, it is. It's a horror game. And I have to give them credit. Like there's a couple other things. I haven't gotten to try it out yet, but apparently when you beat the game, you unlock a new difficulty mode called Madhouse, and apparently it revamps the entire game. It changes enemy spawns, so that you're not just expecting enemies to pop out in certain areas, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to play it. And apparently it's pretty difficult and brutal, but yeah, I had a lot of fun playing it, and I was actually really pleasantly surprised there when I finished the game. There was a little message that popped up, free DLC coming in the summer.
Okay, that's good.
And I was like, all right, cool. So I'll have a reason to come back to this game. So, honestly, really, really good game. I had a lot of fun with it. I think it took me about 10 or 11 hours to beat. So, that's fine. I was expecting it to be much shorter, you know? I was expecting 6 hours.
Okay.
But I was actually pleasantly surprised with that. The other game that I played after Alex begged me to play was I went back to Darkest Dungeon.
Hey, have you finished that yet?
Well, I will say this. So this is what they did. Remember we talked about Radiant mode?
Yes.
Yeah, and how it's supposed to make the game less of a grind fest. So yes. I popped in Radiant mode and started a new playthrough, and I gave that a shot. So Radiant mode doesn't really make the game less brutal, but what it does is that it speeds up gathering resources. which
Okay.
in turn makes things a little bit easier. Because the thing is that when you finish a quest, you have to collect crests, busts, emblems, and deeds, right?
Okay.
And these resources are what you use to upgrade your buildings, like your blacksmith to upgrade weapons and armor, your guild to help you train your abilities farther down their skill tree, the sanitarium to help you cure really bad quirks. Like, for example, there's one that is terrible for one of your characters to get, in which they will, every once in a while, they will search items on the quest, and they will take those items for themselves. So you will not get these items. They will literally take them and destroy them in the process.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's essentially them being greedy. And the sanitarium is something that you would use to cure that. But honestly, like I'm doing a lot better. Alex gave me a couple of tips. The biggest tip that he gave me was stop clicking on when you're on a quest. Every once in a while, while you're walking through the dungeon, there'll be these little things that you can click on, right? Some of them are like boxes that are full of loot, bags. Occasionally, like there'll be like a statue that you can touch, some scrolls, some books, right?
Yeah.
And he told me that it is better for most cases to just not touch them. Like certain ones you shouldn't touch, like the books, for example. The books, you have a higher chance of getting a negative quirk for your character than a positive quirk. So you have a higher chance of screwing up that character more than getting a character something good.
Has Alex finished Darkest Dungeon?
Apparently he's gotten relatively close. He's literally at the darkest dungeon, but
Okay.
apparently that's the part of the game where it gets fuck you difficult.
Mhm.
So I don't know if I will ever get that far, but I made progress. I actually beat a boss.
You've never beaten a boss before? Oh my god, Tanner.
No, I haven't. Last time, actually, it's funny. This was the boss that I fought on the stream that I did a while back that kicked my ass, and I barely was able to defeat it. Because the boss was brutal, because it has like an AoE move that does massive, massive damage, and I am shocked that I somehow survived that boss fight. But I did, and boy did I feel pretty good about myself. But yeah, overall, really good game. I don't know how long I'm going to continue playing it because it is still a pretty brutally difficult game. But I'm having fun. I'm having a lot more fun with Radiant mode than the regular version of the game. So I would say if you want to pick this up, or if anyone who listening wants to pick up Darkest Dungeon, I would highly recommend you play Radiant mode because it's just a nice, slightly nicer version of the game. But that's pretty much what I played this week. What about you, Fawwaz?
Well, I played this game called Midterms this week. I didn't, because I'm on reading week now, but like last week was pretty brutal. I just didn't have the time to really play anything. Unfortunately, I think on Monday, because it was like the last day of Chinese New Year, I wanted to come in and get a couple more loot boxes. So like I leave for class at like I leave for class at 7 in the morning because I have class at 8, and then I have to be in school till about 10 in the evening because because of school shit, whatever.
Yeah.
So I get home at like 11 and I'm exhausted, but I'm like, and then I have class at 8 on Tuesday morning, so you know. But anyway, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna play a couple games, get some loot boxes. So I sit down, I boot the game up, I win my first game. I'm like, cool, 2 more. We're tied in my second game. And then bam, PSN is down for maintenance. I'm like, yep, it wasn't meant to be. It wasn't meant to be. So I just bought the Zenyatta skin because I was hoping I'd get either the Zen or the Winston skin, and then I'd buy the other one. Like I wasn't gonna buy both.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I just decided that, you know what, it wasn't meant to be. I bought the Zen skin, and I've taken a bit of a break over the week because of school, and also because I was just, you know, like when the events first end, there's always like a period where you're just trying to wind down. Fortunately, when the Christmas event ended, I think a week later we got Oasis, so there was that reason to come back. But now it's like that the event just ended. Competitive is ending on Tuesday. There's just not a whole lot of reasons to play, and then so And then, like, there's certain games that when I take a break from them, it's hard to get back into. The Witcher
Mm,
3,
yeah.
one example. XCOM 2 is another example. So I'm just trying to, because I'm also not sure. I still haven't finished XCOM 2, right? I've made it to the final mission on like three different accounts, but like once I
What?
get to once I
Why?
once I get to the end of the game, like the game, like this was true with the original XCOM as well. Once I get to the end, the game just stops being fun for me because a lot of the fun
Oh,
in XCOM is managing your resources, and the game just gets too easy. I have more credits that I know what to do with. My guys are all maxed out. I have nobody that I'm even trying to level up anymore. The missions are all boring. When you're like two-shotting gatekeepers, the missions can only be so interesting. So, and
what?
then like,
What
I
kind
mean,
of bullshit version of XCOM that you're playing in which you can two-shot a fucking gatekeeper?
well, I mean, yeah, you hit them with an EMP, right? And then when you
Okay.
hit them with the EMP grenade, if your grenadier has, I can't remember the upgrade, but it's an upgrade that a grenadier gets that makes their grenades do more damage. And then EMPs ignore armor, so you hit them with the EMP and it does like 12 damage to them, and they have what 20 something HP. I can't remember, but you hit them with that, it stuns them. Okay, maybe two-shotting was a bit of an exaggeration, but like it does like over 50% to them, and it stuns them for 2 turns, right? So I
Right.
guess the point I'm trying to say is that even gatekeepers aren't really a threat anymore. So it's like and gatekeepers the highest level. I mean, I know there's other enemies that you face on the final stage that I haven't seen yet. I'm pretty sure. But whatever. Let me just shut up. I know there's enemies that you see on that final stage that I haven't seen. And I know the final level is pretty damn long. Like there's this one dude's guys that I watched every now and then, and his video for the final stage was like 3 videos long, and each video is like an hour long. So I figured that final stage is gonna be pretty damn long. But yeah, like once I get to that stage, all I start thinking of is because like I started the game on normal, and then I made it to the end,
Mm-hmm.
and then like the whole time I was doing those final missions at the end, I was thinking about, man, this game would be so much more fun if I was playing on Commander right now. So then I started the game on Commander before I finished that one, and then I made it all the way to the end of that, and then the whole time I'm at the end, I'm like, this game would be so much more fun if I was playing on Iron Man right now. So that's what I'm planning on doing next. But I'm thinking that I should finish that last mission before I on my Commander playthrough, so that I know what to expect on my
Yeah,
Commander
at
Iron
very
Man
least,
playthrough.
yeah.
Because you know what? Because I've heard that last mission is actually pretty difficult. You don't want to go in there blind on your Iron Man playthrough.
Well,
So,
yeah, like I'm gonna be perfectly honest. Like it makes me think of like the mission has a lot of similarities to the final mission in XCOM, the XCOM 1.
yeah,
Um, but the biggest difference is that the final room is a lot harder to deal with than in XCOM 1. Like
okay,
XCOM 1's room, if you were smart, you could finish that room with relative ease.
yeah.
Like, but this room is not a fun time. So I would suggest you at least do it. Probably with your normal playthrough, I would say. If you're gonna attempt to beat it, you might as well just do it on your normal playthrough. See what you're gonna have to deal with on your Iron Man mode playthrough.
Mm-hmm.
But I do know what you mean. Where it's like I find the game the difficult. Honestly, one of the more difficult aspects of XCOM 2 is
The first
managing.
month.
Sorry.
The first month.
Not okay. It's not even just the first month. It's managing the doomsday clock, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because depending on how successful you are at completing the main quest missions and how successful you are at destroying those bases, the factories essentially,
Yeah.
you can get relatively close to the doomsday clock. Like even in my regular normal mode, in which I'm relatively doing fine in my missions, like the doomsday clock would get higher from time to time.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, like the Doomsday Clock doesn't worry me too much. There was one point where I genuinely thought it was on my Commander playthrough, and I genuinely thought I had just lost. It was the reason why I stopped recording my Commander, because I was recording my Commander playthrough to post on the channel. And then I got to this point where I was like, okay, well the game is over, and I was upset. Like half of my crew were in the infirmary. The Doomsday Clock was at like 4 days away. And this is what happened was that there was a bunch of retaliation missions, not retaliation missions, black site missions.
Black side
One
missions.
of them, one of them doubled the Intel cost of stuff, and I was like, whatever, that doesn't matter. I never buy anything with Intel. And then the next month, the doomsday clock is like almost there. I don't have enough intel to buy my way into the DRS region. I'm like, well, shit, I've lost. But I got lucky. I got really lucky actually. Like 2 days before the doomsday clock went off, the aliens were stupid enough to build a site on a location that already had communications on.
Nice.
So I was like, all right, well,
let's do
so I
this.
just tried that, and everything went smoothly afterwards. But yeah, like the doomsday clock, it's not, as long as you're not an idiot like me, and you just make sure that you always have, because you can ignore those facilities for as long as you can ignore the doomsday clock until there's like 2 days left on it, right? Like the thing can go full, the countdown can start, and then until there's like 2 days left, you can completely ignore it. So long as you are on a location with a factory. And different factories, you can check at the top. If there's like a bunch of boxes above the factory, that tells you how many levels is gonna reduce the doomsday clock by. So yeah, like once you get the hang of that, it's not too difficult. For me, honestly, the toughest part of my Commanders playthrough was the first mission, because the first mission you have 4 rookies with no abilities, no accuracy, no damage, no armor, and just grenades. That mission took me 4 tries to get. Like it was the first time I did it, my entire team got wiped. Second time, I think everyone except one person got wiped, which might as well just count as a full wipe, because I'm not starting the game with 1 unit alive. So like for me, the toughest thing was that first mission, and I think that's gonna be the case with my Iron Man playthrough. It's gonna be the case with my Legend playthrough if I ever make it that far. That first mission is brutal. It's so brutal, but the game actually, I mean, obviously there's other, like if you don't plan very well, the first month where you start dealing with armored enemies can be a nightmare. Yeah. But I feel like the one thing that is constant across every playthrough is that first mission is not easy. It's not easy at all.
It's not easy. Honestly, like I find that like I do agree. Like honestly, like it's the first month, and honestly, I would say like the first half of the game is a lot harder than the second half. Although the thing is that like I've said before, like I don't get the platinum luck that you seem to have when fighting gatekeepers, because gatekeepers they've done a lot of damage and they have killed a lot of my high tier units. Now granted, it depends on how you strategize against them, and it also depends on when they spawn, because if you're fighting a gatekeeper by yourself, like a gatekeeper and a couple of ads, it's not that big of a deal, right? It's because you can just focus him. But when you're fighting a gatekeeper and another group of aliens walks into your line of sight and then procs, then you've got a problem, because now you can't just completely focus on the gatekeeper. You have to kind of spread your resources, or else the other group of aliens is going to flank around you and kill you from behind. Because I've had that situation happen a lot.
Do you use mimic beacons?
I do use mimic. I have used mimic beacons before, and they are really effective. But I'm not gonna lie. Like I've been fucked by that gatekeeper so many times that, ugh.
Yeah, because for me it's like, I mean, yeah, there's just so many contingents. There's just so many backup plans for it. Because like if that happens, and that happens, no matter how smart you play, that's just going to happen at some point. You're gonna activate 2 pods at once. You can mimic beacon one. Or there's this other thing, with the psionic soldier, you can stasis the gatekeeper, right? And when you stasis an enemy, the enemy doesn't do anything that turn. So you can stasis the gatekeeper, and stasis only costs like 1 action too. So you can stasis the gatekeeper and still shoot. And that's a 2-turn cooldown. Seriously, psionics are like completely broken in this game.
Psionics are really powerful.
So yeah, you can stasis the gatekeeper, and then you can even mimic beacon the rest and get like literally a free turn, just a completely free turn. Or you can EMP the gatekeeper. EMP has a 100% hit rate and 100% chance to. Okay, don't quote me on that second part. It's stunned every single time I've used it, but I do not know if it's actually 100%. But I know it has a 100% chance to hit. And then like with your grenadier, the radius is gigantic. So, and then the gatekeeper is usually with codexes, and EMP one-shots codexes, right? So you just EMP and the scanning protocol. If you use scanning protocol, you can tell where the enemies are, and then that'll help you avoid activating extra pods. But I've been away from that game for a while, so it's probably going to be pretty brutal when I get back. But yeah, that is what I didn't play this week.
That was a really long discussion on a game we didn't
I
play.
know, right?
All right,
But
you
yeah,
want to
on
get
to
into
some
some news?
news.
Yeah.
So in Justice, we got a couple more characters. We got Swamp Thing.
Mm.
Swamp Thing was announced, and then later on in the week, on Valentine's Day, we got a trailer for the women. So two of the women in the trailer had already been revealed: Black Canary and Poison Ivy. But this was the first gameplay we saw of Poison Ivy. She was revealed in like the story trailer. But on top of that, we got Cheetah and Catwoman. So I have mixed feelings about these. I love the Swamp Thing and the Cheetah inclusion. Swamp Thing, he had one of the better comics of the New 52 relaunch that happened in like 2013. I think his comic was really, really good, and he's been one of DC's lower key characters.
Exactly.
Cheetah is a Wonder Woman villain, and I'm like, yo, more love for Wonder Woman. I'm always down for. Catwoman, I understand. Right,
It's
but
the
like
most
Poison
obvious,
Ivy,
right?
I'm like, come on, guys. Like we've already got Batman, we've got Robin, we're probably getting Nightwing, we've got Bane, we're getting the Joker. Let's just call a spade a spade. We've got Catwoman, and then we've got Poison Ivy, and then Red Hood is rumored. That's seven. That's seven confirmed Batman characters at least.
Yeah.
It's. I'm sure I understand Batman is Batman, right? But come on, guys. Like,
I mean, I understand where it's like, okay, there's going to be an audience where it's like, well, why the fuck I want to play as Poison Ivy, or like I want to play as Catwoman. Why did you take these characters out? And it's like, yeah, like honestly, if I'm being perfectly honest, I'm way more excited to see Black Canary and Swamp Thing and Cheetah than I am with Catwoman and Poison Ivy, because I've seen them in these games before and I've seen them more often. Whereas like I haven't seen characters like Black Canary, Cheetah, or Swamp Thing as often.
And to be fair, Poison Ivy wasn't in Injustice. But I'm like, Poison Ivy, come on, guys. Like, Harley Quinn, I actually forgot Harley Quinn. So that's eight. That's eight Batman characters already confirmed. And, like, Red Wing is probably going to be in. No, eight aren't confirmed. I think six are confirmed, and I'm just assuming that the Joker and Nightwing are going to be in this, because the Joker and Nightwing are going to be in this. I'm sorry. Nightwing is too popular, and the Joker is the Joker. Plain and simple. But yeah, so that's eight Batman characters, and that's not even counting the possibility of Red Wing and Batgirl and Batwoman and so many other Batman characters. And it's like, guys, come on. Like, I understand that Batman's the one that keeps the lights on at DC. I completely understand that, right? But and to be fair, they've done a good job with the rest of the roster. Swamp Thing was a cool addition. Cheetah's a cool addition. Black Canary's a nice addition. We're gonna get Green Arrow, so that's gonna be
Where
cool.
is the question? That's what I want to know.
What?
Where's the question? I want the question.
Yeah. I'm hoping for Constantine, and with the addition of Swamp Thing, I feel like Constantine is. I'd be very surprised if Constantine didn't make it in. If Swamp Thing made it in, I'd be very surprised if Constantine didn't make it in. Now, also, one other thing to keep note is that all of this. Oh, and also then Scarecrow is also rumored, because there's the Injustice mobile game that came out, and there's Green Lanterns in that. But Green Lantern, I mean, like, even if Green Lantern wasn't already confirmed, there was no way Green Lantern was going to make it into this game. We have Scarecrow is now rumored, so we're looking at about 11 Batman characters in this game, and sure. It depends on the size of the roster, but even if this game has a 40-character roster, that's a quarter of your roster given to one character. Come the fuck on. Come on, guys.
I think we talked about this a while back, but it's like I want to see the low key. I want to see, like Swamp Thing. And that's why I was like, okay, I'm glad at the very least when these two trailers got announced, we got a little bit more of the less low-key people like Black Canary and Cheetah and Swamp Thing, along with obviously the more popular ones. And as long as there is at least a slight, I want a better balance. I mean, obviously at this point we see that there's tons of Batman characters. Like, there's just tons of Batman characters, and it makes the most sense for them to do that because they're the most profitable characters to use right now. So I hope that I hope that while the roster is finishing up for Injustice, that we do get to see a couple more low key. I'm telling you, man, I want the question. I want him. Please. I don't care if he's like the one guy who has no superpowers and all he can do is punch people. Oh, I wanted to also point out, like, this is something that I find really weird because this game's rated T, right?
Yeah.
Now, because this is from the guys who made Mortal Kombat, I find that some of the moves that they use are ridiculously brutal and would completely kill any person that do. Like the one where Swamp Thing grabs
I
Rob
knew
and brings it,
it.
and
I
then
knew
like
it.
smashes his spine against a jagged rock. I'm like, Robin would be dead.
Yeah, that was the exact move I was thinking of when you said that. Because when I saw it, I was like, that's kind of violent for a T-rated game. That NetherRealm's
Yeah.
DNA just sneaking in, but yeah, yeah, honestly, this was how I felt at this, around the same time with the last Injustice game. It was around this time, it was the same thing. They had announced Bane, they had announced a bunch of Batman characters. Seriously, Bane and Poison Ivy didn't have to be in this game. I'm sorry. Like with Injustice, it made sense. The Dark Knight Rises had just come out. Bane was the main villain in that movie. It made perfect sense. But Poison Ivy and Bane did not have to be in this game. Plain and simple. But whatever. You know what? We'll see. I won't judge the roster until I've seen the full roster.
Yeah.
But right now, it's way too Batman heavy for my liking. I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed at all. So yeah,
We'll have to
but
see.
yeah, look forward to that. Swamp Thing, Cheetah, Catwoman, and Poison Ivy coming to Injustice 2. In a little more positive news, Activision announced a release date for Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. So it's going to be coming to a PS4 near you on the 30th of June. So just when you thought that Sony was going to have a month without a high-profile release, they were like, surprise! Okay, like seriously, and I know this is going to sound I appreciate the fact because like I spent, and this is gonna sound silly considering I've spent the past 2 years criticizing Sony for not giving us enough exclusives, right?
Mm-hmm.
They did it to plan this year out better because like right now it's because I think me and you were just talking about this, right? Okay, so you bought Resident Evil 7 in January, Gravity Rush came out, I didn't buy it in January. February we have Neo, which I'm thinking about buying, but I'm holding off on buying it because in March we have Nier. Right?
Yeah.
We have Nier dropping early March, and then let's not forget that Persona 5 is dropping in early April.
Yeah.
And in between all of this, Horizon Zero Dawn, like that game,
Yeah.
I'm not even considering buying that game because there's just so much stuff around me right now, and I cannot afford it. Like, let's not forget that video games in Canada are $90. So I feel like, I feel like Sony could have planned this out much better because you look at the end of last year. And okay, we had The Last Guardian in December, and I think that was it.
Yeah, at least from like big mainline Sony titles, I can't really think of much else that came out at the end of the year last year. And yeah, it is a bit of a rush right now, and I like that at least they're spreading out to like at least because summer's going to be relatively dry for not just Sony but for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So at the very least, this gives us something to play during the summer.
Yeah, for sure. And it's first world problems, right? I'm like, oh my god, there's all these games I want to buy, but on the real though, even from a business point of view, there's games that I think, and maybe I don't know what I'm talking about because a bunch of these games appeal to different markets, right?
Yeah.
But there's games that I feel like are going to suffer because of this. Like I said, not For Honor. But yeah, that's another game, but this isn't Sony's fault. This is Ubisoft. But yeah, For Honor is a game that I just won't be able to buy because of because of the release window. But no. I was talking about I lost my train of thought. But yeah, there's games that are going to suffer here. Like I think there's games that are going to suffer. One of the reasons I want to support a lot of these games. I want to support For Honor because I think it's a really cool new idea. But I don't think I can. I want to support Nier, and I think I will. But I also want to support Neo, but I don't think I can. And
even though people say that it's like a first world problem, but to be honest, it's difficult because like you want to support these games and you want to support the developers who made these really good quality games that are coming out all of a sudden. But the problem is that you have to kind of pick and choose where you want to put your $90 towards, right? Like
Yeah.
I was talking to Fawwaz off podcast, and I was explaining to him like the reason why I'm not picking up Neo or I'm not picking up For Honor at the moment is because I'm committing to picking up Nier. I'm committing to picking up Mass Effect, and I'm committing to picking up Persona, and that's not even considering the fact that I'm committed to buying the super duper crazy edition of Persona. So that's
So
the
yeah,
thing.
like these first couple months, I feel like Sony could have paced this better. But we'll see. We'll see what the rest of the year looks like. Because I mean, right now, fall is barren. There's absolutely nothing coming out in the fall right now. Obviously that could all change at E3.
Yeah.
But yeah, right now the fall is barren. So I feel like wouldn't it be better if some of these games, I know, and part of this is unfortunate because I feel like Horizon was supposed to drop in the fall. I feel like that was originally their plan, but it got delayed. And then like Nier coming out early in the year is a smart move because this is supposed to be the dead time, so it could come out here and there's no other game competing with it. Unfortunately, that's just not the case anymore.
Yeah, you want to know what made me really sad about Nier is that Nier's launching about a week after the Nintendo Switch launch.
Yeah, that's another thing that we haven't even spoken. Yeah, like it's launching a week after the Switch. It's launching like a week after Horizon. It's a shit show right now. I'm gonna buy Nier because I want to support the game, but I wouldn't be surprised if that game flopped. Like if it just didn't sell because.
What do you mean, like the first Nier?
I mean, the first Nier was also booty butt cheeks.
The first Nier was a flawed game with amazing aspects.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Booty butt cheeks.
You've been saying that on this podcast for so long, but I don't even really know what that means. I'm the whitest guy here.
It means it's ass, Tana, not the good kind of ass.
Well, that's the thing is that, like, anyway. But,
I know.
Yeah, but like, honestly, yeah, I think it is good at the very least that this is coming out in June. But I hope that by E3 we get more games that are coming out in the fall. Because, yeah, you're completely right. The fall is looking pretty dry. And I hope that's not going to be the case.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I wouldn't even care because, like, there's so many, mixtape coming soon. Because there's so many games that they're coming out early in the year that I just didn't buy. So, if there's, because here's the thing, Persona 5 is coming out in April. God willing, if I actually enjoy the game and the game is good, I'm probably going to play Persona 5 from April until... Well, May. I'm kidding. I'm probably play the game from April to like June, right? Then like in July, I can probably look back and buy like For Honor or something. Keep in mind, in between all of this, Overwatch is going to have its anniversary, and we'll probably have 2 new characters by this point.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be going back to Overwatch as well. Then like later in the year, I can be like, okay, cool, maybe I'll go buy Horizon. So for me, I'm pretty sure I'll be fine, even if this is all that they released this year. I'm pretty sure I'll be fine. But yeah, it's pretty brutal right now. And what makes the things even more brutal is that, like you mentioned, the Nintendo Switch is coming out in March, right?
Yeah, it's coming out March 3rd, and I will be there in the stupid midnight release line waiting for my coffee.
Oh my god. And yeah, like one game that's built a bit of controversy of late is Zelda, because it's getting a season pass. And Zelda is a storied franchise. And whereas season passes are more of a modern thing and a modern thing that a lot of people do not like. So the announcement that Zelda was going to be getting a season pass was greeted with a fair bit of criticism. Now, to further the point, let's actually talk about the details of the season pass. So I'm just going to read the blurb. Legend of Zelda Breath of Wild for Nintendo Switch and Wii U consoles. It's actually coming out for the Wii U. Ooh. Is one of the largest, most engaging video game Nintendo has ever created. While the main game offers players an engrossing quest that will keep them entertained. Oh my god, this is not the details of... God damn it, Nintendo!
Well, that's the quote. Oh, you want the details of what the DLC
is. I found it. The first content pack, which is slated for this summer, will include the addition of a Cave of Trials challenge, a new hard mode, and a new feature for the in-game map. The second content pack, which will launch in holiday 2017, adds new challenges that will let players enjoy a new dungeon and a new original story. The expansion pass the expansion pass gives you like a Nintendo Switch T-shirt for Link and a couple of other useful items. Now, here's the thing that's really pissing people off. Additionally, content packs cannot be purchased individually. So then it's like, why are you even calling it an expansion pass when you can't buy the individual things individually?
You mean pack 1 and pack 2?
Sorry, what?
I thought it was stated that it's like a pack 1 and pack 2.
It's pack 1 and pack 2, but right here, and
oh, you like, okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, there is a pack 1 and a pack 2, but you cannot buy them individually. You have to buy the expansion pass. So people are not impressed. I'm more in the middle. Like, I don't automatically think expansion passes are the devil. You know, like I loved The Witcher 3's expansion pack. Now, unfortunately, that is one of the only expansion passes I can talk about that I enjoyed in recent memories, but it's also one of the only ones that I bought. But yeah, I enjoyed The Witcher 3's expansion pass, but I'd really like to hear your opinion on this, Tanner.
Well, like I was going to say, it's like, you know, I understand the need to get mad about a game that hasn't received DLC. You know, a lot of people consider it a very pure series to finally receive DLC. But first off, let's wait. Let's see what it's going to be. We have details about it, but we don't know the scale of the DLC itself. Now, for people who say like this isn't technically the first Zelda game to have DLC, because you could argue that Hyrule Warriors has DLC. Now, I'm gonna bring that up as a point. Yeah. It's like, I spent $20 on the expansion or the season pass for Hyrule Warriors, right? I did it, right? And I was impressed. I was really, really impressed with what I got. I got a bunch of new characters. I got new weapons to use with my existing characters. I got 2 new adventure modes, which completely changed the mechanic of the games. And I really, really enjoyed that DLC. And it was a great way for me to come back to the game. Now, there's a couple things here. One, this Zelda game in particular, this is going to be a huge game, period, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like we're going to be, you know, thirsting for like content. You know, it's not like it's not like current games where they're shorter. You know what I mean? Yeah. And with the idea of DLC, it's more annoying because part of you is more adamant this should have just been in the game, right?
Yeah.
And I understand that. Well, but for a massive game like this game is going to be, I'm a little less ticked off about it because I'm like, this game is already going to have a plethora of content, and this DLC stuff that's coming in the summer and the holidays,
it's gravy.
It's gravy. And hell, I want to support Zelda. So, sure, why not? Granted, I can understand it's gonna be awkward. We don't know the quality of this DLC, although Nintendo has been fairly decent with their DLC. Like I enjoyed the Mario Kart DLC. I enjoyed Hyrule Warriors DLC. There's some really good Fire Emblem DLC that I got. So they have been fairly decent with the quality of their DLC. So it's not like we're getting horse armor, you know. And like I said, I'm still a bit on the fence because the idea of saying DLC and Zelda in the same sentence, it does feel a little bit, you know? Like, there is sort of this idea that Zelda was never gonna get DLC, like, period.
Yeah.
But also, this is a different type of Zelda game, so it might lend itself a little bit better to a DLC expansion than like an earlier title that was more like compact and refined, like very specific in how you went through that game.
Yeah.
The one thing that I will say though is I agree that I wish that you can purchase them separately.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just a whole thing. I don't know if that's going to be. I have a feeling that might be just like time locked. Because I don't think it's going to be like I would assume that it's going to be time locked for now, that you have to buy both in like a season pass format, and then later down the line you could probably buy them separately, because I think they did that similarly with Hyrule Warriors before launch. So my response is that, like, honestly, just wait and see what the DLC is. And if you like it, if you like what they're adding, then great. Then you can buy it. Honestly, just wait, because there's nothing that's making you have to buy this. Like, you don't have to buy it. Like, period. And it's not like it's going to, like, make the game less of an experience. This just seems like extra stuff to me. So I understand why people are mad and why there's a lot of controversy behind this decision, but I don't know. I'm not completely like, grab my pitchfork, time to go, rush Nintendo, like I'm not feeling that. I feel a little bit of worry about how this will affect things going forward, but we have to see. We'll have to see because we don't know how it's going to affect things.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I think people just have this bad habit of, oh my god, like even The Witcher 3, when they announced the expansion pass, so some idiots in the comment section complaining, they were like, but they said all the DLC was going to be free, and it's like, actually no, they said that they were going to release free DLC. They didn't say it was all going to be free. But yeah, like people just have this bad habit of just always assuming. And to be fair, I can understand where they come from, because more often than not, when a company announces an expansion pack, because I'm thinking about it now, and I can't remember, like other than The Witcher 3, I can't remember the last expansion pass I bought, because most of the games that I buy don't have them, or I just don't. In fact, most of the games I buy don't have them. So no, I definitely understand where the apprehension is coming from. But yeah, first of all, let's see how big this game is. If the game is 100 hours long, then all this stuff is extra. And why are you criticizing someone for offering you extra? It's like you go to a restaurant and you enjoy your steak, and then they're like, here's the dessert menu. You get up and you slap the waiter. Like, how dare you offer me dessert, you asshole? It's like,
that's actually kind of an interesting description of that.
Because that's literally what you're doing right now, right? Because sure, I completely understand. If you go to a restaurant and you eat, you pay for like a steak, and then they give you like a quarter of a steak, and then they're like, here's our dessert menu, and then the dessert menu is the other 3/4 of the steak. Then yes, I completely understand your frustration. Right?
That has to be the best metaphor I've ever seen you use.
Thank you. But in this case, if you play the game and the game is complete, and then you're like, you know what, I enjoyed that game, I'm perfectly satisfied, I felt like it was worth my full $90. Mm-hmm. But I also want to pay extra. I want more. And then you're like, here's some more. Yeah. Then you're like, thank you. Then it's all good. And then if you enjoyed the full game, and then you check the DLC, and the DLC is garbage, then it's like, okay, well, the DLC was garbage. I don't have to buy it. But I feel like, and this I blame entirely on gamers, because it's like there's no reason to buy an expansion pass before the DLC comes out. Other than Fallout 4, whose expansion pass increased in price, no game has ever increased the price of the expansion pass. So there is no reason to buy it before the DLC comes out. Yeah. And nothing is forcing you. So that's what I did with The Witcher 3. When I bought The Witcher 3, they were like, do you want to buy the expansion pack? I'm like, no. Let me see if I like the game first. And then I played the game, and I enjoyed it, and then I waited, and unfortunately the price did not go down. But I bought it, and, it all worked out. So it's like, there's no rush, people. The game isn't even out yet. Wait for the game to come out, buy the game, make sure you enjoy the game, because through all this hoopla, y'all might come out and hate Breath of Wild. So it's like...
That is true. I mean, to be honest, I really hope that's not the case.
Of course, obviously. Like, even me, I don't plan on buying a Nintendo Switch. I hope this game is good, because, Zelda is one of those franchises. It's like a storied gaming franchise, and they're trying something different, and I want them to succeed. I want people to succeed when they try something different. And I also want any game that has cell shading in it, I'm all for it. Because I don't know if I've mentioned on this podcast before, but...
You just love cell shading.
But yeah. For once, I think me and you agree, and I think people are overreacting on this, and I think just wait, take time.
Just wait to see. Like honestly, that's all I want. I want people to just calm down for a moment, take a deep breath, and let's see how this turns out before we go nuts. I mean, if the DLC turns out to be bad and a waste of money, then sure, that will be the time to really criticize Nintendo for the reasoning of doing this. But if it turns out that it's fine or even great, then awesome. Because it's weird, because I mean, you know what? If I'm being perfectly honest, if there was DLC for Twilight Princess, like a whole other story beat, I would buy that in a fucking heartbeat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like if they released DLC that didn't suck for Bloodborne right now, I'd buy it. You know.
Oh, you. But yeah, that's basically my stance on this. But
Yeah.
our next piece of news, we got a bunch of little Mass Effect stuff. We've got some information about two of the non-human characters,
Yay.
Vetronix, the Turian female, and Nakmor
The
Drak.
Turian's a woman?
Yeah, that's a woman.
Huh.
Yeah,
Huh.
like female Turians are kind of a rarity in the Mass Effect universe. And I think I've told you this story before. The main reason why female Turians haven't shown up that often in the Mass Effect universe is because at the time when they were designing the Turians, they didn't really know what a female Turian would look like, and they kind of
like a male Turian.
yeah. Well, I mean, there are slight differences. It does kind of look like a male Turian, but look at the jawline in particular. It, I know
I'm actually looking for the. Oh wait, it's right here.
Because she's no Garrus. She doesn't look like Garrus. although I do like the touch where she has the visor, and that was something that Garrus had too. So
I love the visors. I love the visors. Maybe if I see a full picture of her, because yeah, I'm looking at this, and I mean, sure, I can kind of see how you could sell this as a female, but you could also sell this. It's very androgynous, so. So, you know, maybe if I saw, like, her full physical build, then it'd be easier to tell. She's probably going to be a lot skinnier than Garrus.
They are.
Garrus was pretty damn skinny, so...
Yeah, female Turians are skinnier. But honestly, looks cool. They gave some details about the characters. I liked the Krogan's quote, in which, like, you know, humans, they're like meat. You don't let them spoil.
Huh.
But yeah, so it seems like it's kind of funny because I have a feeling that all of the human characters are going to be by the book. You know, like, you know, we got to do this for the greater good. We got to follow protocol. And all the alien characters are going to be like, fuck that shit. But along with that, we also got some gameplay, a gameplay trailer showing off the new gameplay mechanics, and it was pretty interesting because it seems like you have a lot more customizable options with your abilities, and it's not like you're limited to class choices, which is something that the other games would always do. Is like when you start the game, you pick, I want to be a soldier or an adept or a vanguard, and those classes would have different abilities that you would choose from.
Yeah,
and,
you know, just a quick point to add to what you're saying. I've never, you know, if there's one thing that Peter Molyneux said that made perfect sense to me was that he was like that in Fable 2. The reason why they took away the abilities to pick your class at the start of the game was because you just bought this game. You've never played this game before. And then right out the gate, the game is asking you, how do you want to play for the rest of your playthrough? You know,
yeah.
it's so he was like that, you know, he prefers a system that develops as you play, which I completely agree with, actually. Mm-hmm. That's one of the things I loved about Skyrim. And that's one of the things that I loved. Yeah, that's one thing that I loved about Skyrim was that, you know, you buy the game, and sure, you have that place where you pick which stone you want to go, the warrior stone, the rogue stone, but actually doesn't actually matter. You can always switch it. But, you know, like if you start playing the game, you're like, oh, I want to be a mage, and then you're using mage abilities, and you're like, wow, this is boring. Okay, just pick up a bow, start using the bow. Wow, this is so much more fun. Yeah. You start leveling up. You level up the bow abilities as you use them, and I like that, and I like the fact that Mass Effect is adopting that system as well. I've never liked picking classes at the character select screen as you're starting a game that you've never played before.
Yes, I do agree, and that was something that the other games did that I got used to, but it was still because, like, for example, I had one playthrough of Mass Effect 2 in which I played the Infiltrator class. And I had fun playing with it, and I did like the sniper, but that class back then was limited to like a sniper rifle and a pistol, and that was the only weapons you could really use. Now Mass Effect 3 fixed this problem in which you were not limited to what weapons you could use in the game, so it gave you a lot more variety and customization options. So what I really like about this is that now it seems like they're going full on, okay, We want people to be able to try out abilities, use what they want to use, try different things, and sort of kind of mold the kind of class and character that they want to play throughout the entire game, which is great. The other thing that's pretty interesting is that there's a more variety of different weapon types. You know, you've got the classics, which are just ammo-based projectiles, shotguns, machine guns, stuff like that. You gotta watch ammo. You've got plasma weapons, which act like, they're slower like a rate of fire, but they have a homing ability to them, in which they will track heated targets. And if you're a crazy person, and you really liked the classic style of Mass Effect 1 weapons, there are Revenant weapons, which just overheat and have infinite ammo. Which I felt was kind of interesting that they decided to bring that back. Because that was something that they also brought up in one of the other games, because one of the biggest things that the Mass Effect universe they tried to explain was, okay, how is it that all the weapons in Mass Effect 1 had infinite ammo and they're all overheated, right?
Uh-huh.
But then all of a sudden, there's an ammo system now, right? For that, this doesn't make any sense. And then they kind of found a creative way of explaining that. It's like, it's not ammo packs, it's thermal clips. And what that essentially entails is that you're putting a clip into your gun to cool it down.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I remember that going, okay, to be fair, that is kind of a creative way to explain your gameplay change. But more cooler than that, a bigger selection of melee weapons, which looks freaking sick. Like, you've got Krogan battle hammers, you've got Asari swords. Oh, the Asari swords look so cool. Oh my god. I'm so excited. Because that was the thing. I really, really liked the melee combat of Mass Effect 3. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, really?
And yeah, it was surprisingly fun, especially in the multiplayer. There was nothing more satisfying than charging up to an enemy and headbutting them across the map as a Krogan. It was so much fun. And now that they're adding even more melee options to the game, that just makes me way more pumped and excited. And like I said, they showed off a lot of cool things in this gameplay trailer. But what did you think so far?
Yeah, I thought it was cool. I thought it looked. It's funny because my friend who shared the trailer with me, he was complaining that he felt like they were dumbing down the combat. But then I watched it and I was like, I really don't see what's dumbed down here. Now, to be fair, this is coming from someone who hasn't played Mass Effect 2 or 3, so just put that asterisk right next to it. But like, it looks a lot more fun than Mass Effect 1's combat. I'll tell you that much. So for me, I'm like that. Hey, you know what? Like, I don't see anything wrong with this. And like I said, I've never liked the concept of forcing people to pick their class at the start of a game they haven't played yet.
Yeah.
I don't like that system. I've never liked it, and at this point, after playing so many games that have done the opposite really well, I don't think I ever will like it. I mean, it's old school game design, but I don't think it's necessarily good game design because, yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Like, just play that simple. You're asking someone to commit to something that they don't know anything about, which is one of the reasons why, like, I have to do so much research. I have to watch so many YouTube videos before I start playing Divinity, because I'm like that. I don't know what any of this stuff does that you're asking me to pick right now,
Yeah.
So I feel like this system is better. But yeah, overall it looks cool. In terms of the crew members, I was just kind of disappointed there weren't any trailers for them, like, sure, don't tell.
Yeah.
But yeah, the combat looks cool, it looks fun, the game looks beautiful, and I'm actually looking forward to seeing more. Now, odds are I'm probably not going to buy this game. I'm going to wait for Tanner to buy it, and then I'm going to borrow his copy when he's done.
Yeah, probably. Look, I don't mind doing that, because I'm going to... dude, I'm so freaking worried because I'm gonna have to potentially rush that game, and I don't really want to because Persona comes out like 2 weeks afterwards.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna buy Persona at launch. Like, the more I'm thinking about it, the less I think I'm gonna be able to buy it at launch. Plus, I think it's coming out like 2 weeks before I end school, so I probably shouldn't be buying it at launch anyway. But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be buying Persona 5 at launch. But hey, yeah.
We'll
We'll
never
see.
know.
That's
We'll never
that's
know.
that's neither here nor there.
So you want to talk about our
So
last
do you want
piece
to
of
get to that
news?
last piece of news, Tyler, that you were trying to avoid?
Oh, go right ahead, Fawwaz. Let's talk about
Okay.
Hearthstone.
Okay. So a big news coming out of the Hearthstone scene. So the year of the mammoth. I don't know if I browsed through the post. I don't know if they mentioned the specific dates that the year of the mammoth starts, but that's neither here nor there. That's irrelevant. The big news is twofold. One is that they're completely doing away with the adventures. So they're not releasing any adventures. They're releasing 330 card expansions. The second and the third expansions will feature a playable story like an adventure. So they're not technically doing away with the adventures. But yeah, the cards will still only come from card packs. So the adventures will no longer unlock cards for you. I'm interested to see. Okay, I don't actually care. I was gonna say I'm interested to see how this plays out, but I'm done with Hearthstone, so I don't actually care. The big news for me anyway is that they're rotating standard cards out of standard. So Azure Drake, Sylvanas Windrunner, Ragnaros the Firelord, Conceal Icelands, and Power Overwhelming are all being rotated out to Wild. Now, Blizzard's reasoning is where's the stupid quote from them? Oh yeah, so they're like, standard also gives our developers more freedom when designing new cards, right? However, over the course of the Year of the Kraken, the new year is going to be Year of the Mammoth, by the way. Certain cards in the classic set have contradicted these goals. When cards show up too frequently in decks and are considered auto-includes, deck building becomes more limited. True. Deck variety stagnates. True. Potentially interesting build-around cards fall by the wayside. True. And the gameplay experience begins to feel less dynamic. All true. Most cards should feel like situational additions to a deck, depending on the deck archetype the player is trying to build. All of this I agree with. However, then comes the next paragraph. To help meet our goals, certain cards from classic set will become exclusive to Wild format. These cards will be added to the new Hall of Fame set, which will also include cards that are currently in the reward set. I'm like, how does this make any sense? What is this Blizzard logic? Okay, these cards are really strong, so instead of balancing them, we're just going to ban them. That is so lazy. That has been one of the laziest things I've ever read. Seriously, first of all, Ragnarok isn't even that strong. I don't think. Now, to be fair, this comes from someone who hasn't played Hearthstone in over a year. But Ragnaros was never a strong card. I've constantly criticized Blizzard for their inability to create anything above the cost of 7 that wasn't garbage. And Ragnaros was like the culmination of that. Because Ragnaros, okay, sure, he's an 8 mana 8/8, which is a solid cost, but he can attack. He does 8 damage to something random the turn that you play him, right? So he's a solid card, except for the fact that, and to be fair, this isn't as prevalent now. You could just BGH him, Big game hunted him and he was dead. You paid 8 mana for 8 damage. Congratulations. For 8 random damage. Congratulations. Sylvanas was a really strong card. I'll give them that.
Was strong.
But then just nerf her, for God's sake. Like a normal developer. Make her cost 7 mana. Change her stats. Do something. Change her ability. Okay, maybe not change her ability, because then you're changing the card completely.
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's kind of hard to nerf... it's kind of hard to nerf Sylvana when the fact is that... how do you nerf Sylvana? Her ability is literally just taking a card.
Yeah, make her 7 mana.
Well, no, I'm saying, her ability. Changing her ability. I mean, changing her stats, like how much she costs or how much health she has. Sure, you can do that. But changing her ability would be difficult to a certain extent.
Yeah. But then don't change her ability. I like her ability. Well, that's not true. I don't like her ability. But whatever. That's another story for another day. But, make her 7 mana. I think Sylvana, a 7 mana 5/5 with that Death Rattle would be a solid card. I actually don't even think Sylvana's was that overpowering, because they were very good, very solid answers to her. Azure Drake, I completely agree with. This card, I never understood why this card existed. It was so poorly costed. A 5 mana 4/4. To put that into perspective for you, the standard stats for 5 mana is a 5 mana 5/6, right? Those are like the vanilla stats for a 5 mana card. So okay, so she's undercosted. You didn't give her the +1 spell damage and then draw a card. And I'm like, why? Why does one card do so much for 5 mana? This card was was an auto include in almost every deck. It became even worse when they rotated out Sludge Belcher and Lothar. Because it's funny because the introduction of standard was supposed to add more variety, but then they took out really good 5-drop and then add anything to replace it. So Azure Drake just became more powerful. Conceal, I also agree with. Conceal was just a poorly designed card. I think his name is Amaz. Amaz said that Conceal, his issue with Conceal is that it's either too strong or it's useless. It's never balanced. It's either way overpowered or it's way underpowered. So I actually agree with taking out Conceal. I don't think there was any way they could balance Conceal. Power Overwhelming, I don't understand this. Power Overwhelming is a solid card, but I don't think it's that strong. And then same with Ice Lance. Like, this just feels lazy to me. This just feels completely lazy, and this is, I don't understand. I just don't understand. This is the first developer I've ever met who's done this. They're like that. These cards are too strong. So instead of taking the time out to balance them, we're just going to rotate them out and instead give you more cards that you can pay us for. And especially Ragnaros. Ragnaros is the one that bothers me the most because here's their quote on Ragnaros, right? One sec. Ragnaros the Firelord. Ragnaros is heavily played in both control and mid-range decks. I can't deny this because I don't know what decks are being played now anymore. But when I played, Ragnaros was not played in mid-range decks at all. Mm-hmm. He was not played at all in mid-range decks. In fact, when Dr. Boom was in this game, people stopped playing Ragnaros entirely. So there's that. And even shows up as a finisher in certain types of aggro decks. This is probably a lie. His high immediate value and strength at the 8 mana cost made a decision during deck building. Is this 8 mana minion better than Ragnaros? Rather than, is this 8 mana minion the best choice for my deck? This is stupid. I'm sorry, this is stupid because this is always going to be the case. It doesn't matter what you do. You replace Ragnaros, something else is going to take his place that people are just going to run, and then they'll be like that, they're adding a new card, and they're like that, is this card better than, like, okay, let's say Dr. Boom, because I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Let's say Dr. Boom was still in the game, right?
Yeah.
You take Ragnaros out, then it's going to be Dr. Boom. People put Dr. Boom at the 7 mana spot, and then before they put any 7-drop in their deck, they're going to be like, is this 7-drop better than Dr. Boom? Which it's not, because it's Dr. fucking Boom.
Yeah. And I fucking hate that card.
And that's what's going to happen with this new set. You rotate Ragnaros out, a new card is going to come in, take Ragnaros' spot, and then people are just going to be like, is this card better than whatever this new card is? No? Okay, cool. So I'm like, this is so stupid. Instead of making more cards that are as quote-unquote good, because I don't even think Ragnaros is that good, but instead of making more cards that are as good as Ragnaros, they're like, let's take Ragnaros out. Let's just rotate him out, and that's the answer to our problems. Watch, this time next year, there's going to be the same issue, except with different cards now. Man, these guys are idiots. These guys have to be some of the worst.
What?
No, I'm good. I think I've given.
There was a long pause there. I was like, no, Fawwaz, keep going. It's like, just let it all out, buddy. I'm here for you.
It's ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense. It's like Blizzard. They're like, Anna is really, really strong right now. So instead of balancing her and making it so that other healers are as good as Anna, we're just gonna rotate Anna out and make it impossible for you to pick her now.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of interesting. You can compare this to how they're handling. It's interesting how because these are both Blizzard games, but how they're changing and how they're attempting to change and balance the meta is there's Overwatch is doing a way better job of adjusting and tweaking than Hearthstone ever will or ever has. Yeah, so it's kind of shocking how it's like they're both from the same developer, yet their mentality over balancing and tweaking is completely different.
Yeah, because one person criticized the Overwatch team once because of what they did with McCree, right? So when they nerfed Van the Hammer, then they buffed McCree's fall off. They buffed his fall off, and then it became too strong. So then they nerfed his fall off, right? And it was like that. It doesn't look like they know what they're doing. And one dude was like that. No, they're balancing. That is how you balance things. You just tweak the numbers. You're like, okay, cool. This is too strong, so we're not doing this again. Let's try this. Okay, this is too strong. Let's do, 20 damage is too much. Let's reduce it to 50. Okay, 15 is too little. Let's increase it to 18. 18 is too much. Okay, well, then it has to be 17, right? So that's how you balance, right? And I'm like, with Sylvanas, make her 7 mana. She's still too strong. Make her 8 mana. She's still too strong. Make her a 4/4. Like you balance. You just keep testing. And sure, sometimes it makes you look incompetent to the gamers, right? Because it looks like you don't know what you're doing. But the truth of the matter is that no one knows what they're doing when they're balancing. You can make educated guesses, but no one knows what's going to work and what isn't going to work. People thought Anna was bad when she launched. People were like that. Oh my God, a sniper with no mobility. She's completely garbage. Yeah, exactly. So it's like that. You don't know. Like if it was up to the Overwatch community, they're giving Anna a wall run. Can you imagine Anna with a wall run?
Oh, now I'm getting like images of Anna like calling in a Bastion-sized Titan.
The old lady, she just called.
BB-8, time to sleep.
Yeah. But yeah, like you don't know what you're doing when you're balancing. That's just the nature of balancing, right? Like because there's too many factors to consider. So you take chances. And to be fair, there are some cards that are just inherently difficult to balance. And like I said, I agree with them rotating out Conceal because I feel like Conceal was just poor design. It was an uninteractive card that I feel would have hurt the game more than it helped it. So I completely agree with them rotating out Conceal, and I agree with this notion that okay, maybe there are some cards that were just bad decisions. We just should not have quote unquote printed this card. I completely agree. I mean, every card game has banned cards. There's just Baneslayer Angel. That card is completely stupid, and I don't understand why anyone would ever print a card like that. But I don't think this is the right decision, and I don't think these guys know what they're doing. I don't think they know what they're doing with anything. And I feel like the issue here is that Hearthstone was never supposed to be what it became. Hearthstone was originally meant to be a casual game that built up a surprising. Keep in mind, I'm completely assuming here, right? I feel like Hearthstone was always meant to be a casual game, and the competitive scene was a surprise. So as a result, they're struggling with trying to figure out what to do about this competitive scene. I think that's the problem here because it just feels like they don't know what they're doing. It feels like they're trying to appease everybody, and it's like you have to pick. Overwatch picks. They're like that. Well, we're aiming for the competitive scene. Obviously we're not going to shun the casual scene. We have like our events,
we have arcade mode.
Sorry?
They have arcade mode. They specifically have an area that's meant to be more casual.
But like at the core is the competitive scene because you look at all the changes they've made to the game. The removal of hero stacking, that was entirely because of the competitive scene. Look at the way they balanced characters. They balanced them around the competitive scene, not the casual scene. They balanced Widowmaker got nerfed. No one in the casual scene was complaining about Widowmaker. It was all competitive. They balance around the best players, and they've decided. And I think Hearthstone has to decide at some point. It's like that. Are we trying to be fun, Yogg Sharon, bullshit ass decks, or are we trying to be a serious esport? Or maybe they don't have to decide. The game is really successful. And look at the comment section on this post. Everybody's excited for this. They're excited. They think this is a good idea. It's funny because this one dude. Let me read the comments. Why would you move class cards? Neutral. Wait, no, that's not the comments. Shit.
Great point. Amazing point.
No,
10 out of 10.
The comment has been buried. I'm never going to find it. There was one comment though. I can't remember what he said, but it was something that I agreed with, and he was completely voted down. So I was like, okay, you know what? This game isn't for me anymore. Like, obviously, because me and the community, we think on like a really different wavelengths. Yeah. But yeah, Hearthstone, yay! Year of the Mammoth. Let's celebrate.
The mammoths are cool. I could go for riding a woolly mammoth.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was just. Yeah, like this whole thing just doesn't make any sense to me. And sure, I don't like Hearthstone anymore. I probably never will. But it's like seeing your ex-girlfriend. Wait, no, that's a terrible analogy. Scratch that, because I don't give a damn about any of my ex-girlfriends. But I obviously still care about Hearthstone. So.
You had such a great metaphor a couple like topics ago, and now it's kind of all falling apart. So let's just move to our question of the day.
Just move to our question of the day.
All right.
So please read it out for me, Tanner.
So our question Jay comes from the wonderful Jay Streets. Shout out to Jay Streets. And his question today is, in music and movies, they give an icon award to the legends of their industry. Who would be your 2016 video game icon and why?
Okay, so you want me to go first?
Sure.
Okay, so I'll give it, this is going to sound really funny after what I just finished saying, but I'm going to give it to Blizzard. Not because of their Hearthstone team, because I think their Hearthstone team has their heads really far up their own asses. Because of the Overwatch team.
Jeff Kaplan.
I feel like the Overwatch,
Jeff Kaplan.
Sorry?
Jeff Kaplan, icon. There we go.
Yeah, because I feel like the Overwatch team, like these past 6 months have been a masterclass on launching a game, supporting a game, and keeping in touch with the community. Now, I don't agree with everything they did. I felt like the Summer Games event was a flop. Well, not a flop, but I feel like the Summer Games event was a mistake. Making it not possible for us to buy skins was a mistake. But yeah, we said it. We comments. The entire Reddit was like that. Dudes, what are you guys doing? And they were like, okay, you know what? This was the reason why we did it, and this is one of the reasons why I just love it, because they come out and they're like that. The reason why we did it was because we wanted these skins to feel exclusive. We wanted them to have a sense of exclusivity. Obviously, we were wrong. Obviously, this was not the right direction. We'll do better. The Halloween event comes out, and I think they found a nice middle ground.
Mm-hmm.
Like the skins are they're 3 times the cost of regular skins, so they're still rare. You can't just, because like right now I have like 7,000 credits. Like if the skins did not cost as much as they did, I'd buy every skin from every event ever.
Yeah.
But yeah, the skins, they cost enough that they are rare, but you can still earn them. You can still buy them. So I feel like they found a nice middle ground. Look at the May situation with the May skin. They had that Halloween, they had that Christmas skin with May that people weren't impressed with. It just isn't a legendary skin, which I completely agree with. They came out and they were like that. You know what? We thought it was a cool idea. Obviously, we were wrong. At the end of the day, we do this for the community, and the community disagrees. So, just stick with us. You'll be impressed. 3 weeks later, they give us a new May skin. And you look at the balance point of view. Like they really wanted hero. They really wanted no hero limit. They wanted that to be an element of the game. But a competitive community were like that. This is not going to be good going forward. And they were like that, you know what? After watching a couple of tournaments with 0 hero limit, they were like, that makes perfect sense. Bam, 1 hero limit. There's the whole payload situation, payload maps, and how the community wanted stopwatch, and they were like that. No, we don't want to do stopwatch. We'll find a system that works. They found a system that works. The new time bank system, I think, is a really good system for payload maps. And then they always talking to us, like someone posted a month ago. They were like that, what's up with Bastion has been terrible since launch. They were like that, we're working on stuff with Bastion, just stick with us. A couple weeks later, we get Bastion patches. I feel like they've made a very, very good balance between appealing to the casual crowd, appealing to the competitive crowd, and never leaving us in the dark for too long. People they just always answer, and it always feels genuine. Now, they might be bullshitting us for all I know, but they haven't given me any reason to genuinely think that they're lying to us about any of these things. They've Jeff Kaplan, he comes out with his developer updates, and he's very candid, and he's like that. This is why we do this. This is why we did that. This is the idea behind this. This is the idea behind that. And I hats off to them. Hats off to them for showing other developers how it should be done, I think, because I feel like this is how you launch a brand new IP. This is how you.
It's a very successful launch of their as far as brand new IPs go. This is a very effective and successful way to have handled it.
Yeah. And the community has responded. People love this game. My little sister loves this game. I'm playing with my friend, and his little son loves the game. Like people love this game, and they've been rewarded for it. And then they came out and they were like, everything is going to be free. And outside of the Summer Games events, everything has been free. All the heroes have been free. All the maps have been free. New modes have been free. The skins have been, technically free. Only thing
the whole gambling market is a discussion for another time.
They've kept their word. Now obviously we're only 7 months in, so there's still a lot of time for things to change. But right now, I give it to Blizzard and specifically Jeff Kaplan, because hats off to them for showing the Hearthstone team how it should be done. Idiots.
I guess with me, I was thinking mostly as a person than just a developer, specifically a person, or you know what I mean, like Jeff Kaplan, right? Like a specific person when I was thinking of how to answer this question. So I had 2 for me that came up to mind. I know I've said it and you disagree, but I really, really did like Kojima during E3. I loved how he just got on stage and said, "I'm back," and got everyone got it. Everyone got it in that audience, and I was so happy to see it. And I'm so happy that not only that he has found his own, he's got his own production. He's got Kojima Productions now. And he's got his own team of people. He's getting support from Sony now. And he has the ability to create something really interesting and creative now. And not be hampered by fucking idiots like Konami. So I was really happy to see him do that. So that was, and he was one of the more shining moments of 2016 in my opinion. But that's here or there. The other person I want to give special shout outs to is Yoko Taro. Because he is just an amazing person. How he handled that butt controversy on Nier Automata was fucking hilarious. His quotes about how he likes to drink during development, and that makes him develop games in a more happier fashion. That he recently posted a video about the pre-order T-shirt for Nier Automata, and it's fucking hilarious. Oh, I love him to death, and he is just a shining treasure, and I hope that he continues to be the weirdo that he is in the industry. And that's why I really hope that Nier Automata is a success for him, because I want to see him continue to make games. So I guess that's who I would pick. Kojima and Yoko Taro. Special shout outs to Yoko Taro, particularly because not a whole lot of people know who he is, but now that he's getting a bigger audience, it's great to see him try crazier things on his social media. But I guess that's who I would pick as my gaming icon of 2016. But great question, Jay Streets, and if you got a suggestion for what you think is a good icon for 2016, leave it in the comment section. If you leave a question as well, we'll make sure to answer in the next podcast. And as always, this was your host, Woon Liberty, and
Fawwaz Muhammad Yusuf.
And we'll see you guys next time. Take care.